Hey, it's Meggie Kay, and this is a vlog about Puebla. Now, I am not in Mexico. I am very much back home in Canada. So why am I sitting here talking about a day in Mexico instead of when I was in Mexico? Well, Puebla was a little chaotic. Not in a bad way, in the we had very little time to begin with and things got delayed and all of the typical travel things that can make travel chaotic kind of way. So yeah, any kind of like real-time vlogging just wasn't happening. So yeah, what happened in Puebla? The day actually started in Mexico City. We spent the morning at Xochimilco, and I have a different vlog that includes that. And yeah, after some traffic delays and whatnot, we ended up in Puebla around 2, a little after 2-ish in the afternoon. First thing we needed to do was actually get some food because we hadn't had lunch yet. So we did that and then we went on to a city tour. Now, if you ever did a G Adventures tour, this is really typical. Most places you go to will kind of just start out with a city tour and then give you free time after to either go back to the places to see them a little bit more or do other things. Stops on the city tour included the Basilica Cathedral of Puebla. It was really nice inside. However, I didn't really film much because it was a bit dark and I also get a weird feeling filming in churches sometimes. We also went to a Talavera pottery workshop. This kind of pottery is really famous in Puebla, and I was really tempted to buy something here since it was so nice. But I didn't think it would survive in my backpack, and I don't really have a need for anything that was there, so I passed on it. One thing I really wanted to do in Mexico in general was to see Lucha Libre, and I skipped it in Mexico City because our tour guide said he could get us tickets in Puebla, and it would be a little bit smaller than the big arena in Mexico City, but we could probably also get quite a bit closer to the ring, and that sounded like an awesome time. So that's what we did. And since we only had the one night in Puebla, it was Lucha Libre night. Because of the time we got into town, lunch, the tour, we didn't really have a whole lot of free time between the end of the tour and the Lucha Libre. A few people on the tour wanted to stop off at an ATM, and honestly, it would have been smart for me to pick up some more cash too. So that's what we did in our free time. Now, in theory, this is a very simple task and shouldn't have taken very long. But there were 4 of us who wanted to get some money out, and the first ATM was like a 5 to 10 minute walk down the road from our hotel. I was able to get out money there as well as one other person. However, there was 4 of us. I don't know why. Only some of our cards worked at these ATMs and whatever. Not a big deal because there's a different bank with more ATMs just like another block away. No problem. Easy. At the second bank, the other people were able to pull out cash. Everyone's happy. We're good to go. But as we are leaving the second bank, it just decided to rain, like pouring rain, like torrential downpour rain, like rain it hurts when it hits your skin rain. So we kind of just hopped between the different awnings that were in front of the stores along the road until we got to the end of it. And then we just kind of like huddled under the awning of the last store on the road with a bunch of locals. So it seems like everyone got caught off guard with this absolute downpour. And that's where we stayed for a while. And like, this was not letting up. Now, remember when I said we didn't have a whole lot of free time to begin with? We were really starting to cut it close. And we decided to run for it. It had lightened up a bit, but it was still very much raining when we decided to just go towards the hotel. I had just enough time to change my clothes and shoes because my shoes were soaked. And I know I've said this before if you have seen other videos. Wet shoes, I cannot handle. I cannot handle wet feet or wet shoes, so those needed to change. And we were good. We made it in time, met up with everyone else, and the rain thankfully stopped just in time for us to leave for the Lucha Libre. We walked to the arena. Yeah. Now, the Lucha Libre match was amazing. I'm not a wrestling fan or anything, but this was quite the show. There were different teams, they played to the crowd, and actually had some pretty impressive moves. If I ever make it back to Mexico City, I am going to go to a Lucha Libre match there. I really want to see what the difference is between these smaller arenas and the really big Mexico City one, and like the atmosphere and how that might differ. However, as my first and at this point only Lucha Libre experience, I am very glad we went with the Puebla Lucha Libre. It was so much fun. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. And really, that is it for what happened in Puebla. We left the next morning. And it's honestly a little disappointing. I liked Puebla as a town and the very little bit I got to see of it. There's definitely a whole lot more I could have done. But I guess that means I just need to go back to Mexico. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll be back with another one soon. Bye.